Hey everyone, this is Paul Gale from paulgalenetwork.com, and thank you for joining me today for video game news. It is January 18th, 2022, and these are the top stories of the day. The only thing I'm not going to be talking about today in depth for video game news is specifically the video game sales portion of that news, as now that gets its own category on Paul Gale Network and on my YouTube page. Because today, courtesy of Matt Piscatella from the NPD group, he shared with us the NPD charts that represent December 2021 in terms of hardware and software sales, and the entire 2021 from January 1st through December 31st, hardware and software. It was really cool. I break it down into about a half an hour long video. I provide all of the facts, read everything off, and also put on my own thoughts in the video of the growth of the industry and provide additional feedback from where I think things are going and so forth. I will say really quick though, it was fun. We had a winner for the month. I'll say it now just in case you don't watch that half-hour video. But Nintendo Switch was the best-selling home console of the month. And also in terms of amount of money spent on the home consoles, Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 5 were about equal. And yeah, I'll let you watch the rest of it if you're interested, but pretty cool stuff. So if you're interested, check that out. Okay, back to actual video game news that we're going to discuss in this video. Kingdom Hearts is finally coming to Nintendo Switch. We knew about this for a while, but we didn't know the exact date and whatnot, but here we go. Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 plus 2.5, 2.8, 3, and Remind DLC, as well as the all-in-one Integrum Masterpiece, all launch on Nintendo Switch via cloud on January 10th. Starting today, you'll be able to try out free playable demos of 1.5, 2.5, 2.8, and 3. We hope you have fun playing. This is awesome news for Nintendo Switch owners. Obviously, we had that huge moment by Masahiro Sakurai last year when he revealed, that Sora reveal character as the final character being put in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and the news that Kingdom Hearts, the entirety, was coming to Nintendo Switch. But the only downside is, of course, these are just cloud versions. If you have a good internet connection, I've played different cloud games on Nintendo Switch, and they've all run fine, honestly. My internet happens to be pretty good, not the absolute best. I could get better, but for what I need, my internet is just fine, and it's also just fine to play cloud games on the Nintendo Switch. However, not everyone lives in the best area when it comes to internet, so that's a thing. And also, even if you do have the best internet, there's nothing quite like owning the game, right? Even the digital ownership would be probably better, more desirable than a cloud one. Also, the best thing yet would be a physical cartridge. Could you imagine if they had all of these on one massive cartridge and maybe even went that next step and had this deluxe, super cool physical collector's box, statue, nice cartridge, some poster artwork, pamphlet filled with art from the series over the years. Like, that would be on another level of cool, but hey, if you have the internet, you're going to enjoy these games and play them. If you're not positive, the demos are out now. So the games themselves come out in 23 days, February 10th, but the demos are available today. So you might as well check them out. I'm definitely going to after I finish wrapping up this video. In fact, I might even test my internet a little bit and see what's it like uploading these videos that I'm recording, filming, editing this morning, throwing them up on YouTube and PGN while doing a cloud playthrough of one of the Kingdom Hearts titles. That'll be a good test. I will say though, I get why maybe Kingdom Hearts 3 is a cloud game. Perhaps they couldn't find a way how to compress it down enough without making too many sacrifices to get it running on Nintendo Switch. I still wouldn't be surprised if they could though. But Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, 2.8, like the fact that they're not on Nintendo Switch in cartridge or digital format is kind of a missed opportunity. I think that could have easily been done, but Hard to say. Maybe in the future they will bring them over, right? Maybe this is a case of like Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster and wanting people to double dip. Oh, let's get a cloud version out there, and then later on we'll have a digital physical version. Hopefully that's not quite the case, but I mean, would it be better than not having them at all? Yeah, so maybe that is still, hopeful, wishful, semi-realistic thinking. Okay, anyways, that, believe it or not, was good sized news, right? Pretty good, pretty good. But that's nothing in comparison to the next story. The next story today is just mind blowing big. Xbox announced this morning the following: today is a historic moment. We are excited to announce that the world renowned franchises and talented people at Activision Blizzard will be joining Team Xbox. What? And wait till you hear the price. $70 billion acquisition. You think that Disney buying Fox for $52 billion was a lot? This was Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard for $70 billion. $18 billion more. I mean, they're getting Overwatch, Diablo, Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, Candy Crush, StarCraft. Let's just check this out. Welcoming the incredible teams and legendary franchises of Activision Blizzard to Microsoft Gaming. This was by Phil Spencer this morning. Creators of Call of Duty, Warcraft, Candy Crush, Tony Hawk, Diablo, Overwatch, Spyro, Hearthstone, Guitar Hero, Crash Bandicoot, StarCraft, and more join Team Xbox. As a team, we are on a mission to extend the joy and community of gaming to everyone on the planet. We all know that gaming is the most vibrant and dynamic form of entertainment worldwide, and we've experienced the power of social connection and friendship that gaming makes possible. As we pursue that mission, it is incredibly exciting to announce that Microsoft has agreed to acquire Activision Blizzard. Over many decades, the studios and teams that make up Activision Blizzard have earned vast wellsprings of joy and respect from billions of people all over the world. We are incredibly excited to have the chance to work with the amazing, talented, dedicated people across Activision Publishing, Blizzard Entertainment, Beanox, Demonware, Digital Legends, High Moon Studios, Infinity Ward, King, Major League Gaming, Radical Entertainment, Raven Software, Sledgehammer Games, Toys for Bob, Treyarch, and every team across Activision Blizzard. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of franchises. That's a lot of IP. That's a lot of money. I'll give you another little spoiler for my video game sales video. Best-selling game of the year, Call of Duty. Best-selling game of every year for the last 13 years. A Call of Duty of some sort. Whether Call of Duty's on Xbox or on PlayStation, the game typically sells very, very well. Xbox owns them now. Just like their purchase of Bethesda. They own Doom. They own Wolfenstein. They own Tony Hawk, Spyro the Dragon, Crash Bandicoot, Diablo. It's huge. Okay, let me continue. Until this transaction closes, Activision Blizzard and Microsoft Gaming will continue to operate independently. Once the deal is complete, the Activision Blizzard business will report to me as CEO, Microsoft Gaming. Upon close, we will offer as many Activision Blizzard games as we can within Xbox Game Pass and PC Game Pass, both new titles and games from Activision Blizzard's incredible catalog. We also announced today that Game Pass now has more than 25 million subscribers. As always, we look forward to continuing to add more value to more great games to Game Pass. The fantastic franchises across Activision Blizzard will also accelerate our plans for cloud gaming, allowing more people in more places around the world to participate in the Xbox community using phones, tablets, laptops, and other devices you already own. Activision Blizzard games are enjoyed on a variety of platforms, and we plan to continue to support those communities moving forward. As a company, Microsoft is committed to our journey for inclusion in every aspect of gaming among both employees and players. We deeply value individual studio cultures. We also believe that creative success and autonomy go hand in hand with treating every person with dignity and respect. We hold all teams and all leaders to this commitment. We're looking forward to extending our culture and proactive inclusion to the great teams across Activision Blizzard. Around the world, there is no more exciting venue for fun and connection than video games, and there has never been a better time to play than right now. As we extend the joy and community of gaming to everyone, we look forward to welcoming all of our friends at Activision Blizzard to Microsoft Gaming. And there's your leadership team: Phil Spencer, Ashley McKissick, Cynthia Perlee, Dave McCarthy. You've got several people making that up. Good dozen. Yeah. Isn't that huge? One number to take out of that's kind of interesting. More than 25 million Game Pass subscribers. We assume that the Xbox Series X and S combined are around 10 million right now, and probably around 55 million Xbox One owners. So maybe something like 65 million people playing a modern Xbox console between One and Series. If it is indeed 65 million, and we've got 25 million plus subscribers, you're looking at a pretty healthy amount of people that have an Xbox console, have that subscription. And as we see, once again, little teaser when it comes to the sales video, Game Pass games aren't being too much of a sucker from other games selling well, even within that own ecosystem of what's on Game Pass. What I mean is, I'll break that down a little bit better. Halo Infinite, Forza Horizon 5 are on Game Pass, but they're still very well doing off. Sorry, I said that funny. They're still doing very well off in the software sales charts independently. Halo Infinite's at the top. Forza is doing very well. Yet they're for free as part of this grand rental program in Game Pass. So you've got this carryover, you know? And just because Game Pass has so many games that are in it, you would think, well, maybe some people wouldn't be buying games anymore at all because, like, I don't need to play Mortal Kombat 11. It's not on Game Pass. I'll just play whatever is here, Killer Instinct. No, people are still buying Mortal Kombat 11. So games that what I'm trying to say is games that are in Game Pass are still selling well on their own. Games that are not in Game Pass are still being purchased for their own reasons, even though Game Pass offers a lot. So Microsoft overall has built a community that it's taken time. They've had a couple of little stumbles along the way, but so does everybody. Nintendo doesn't have a perfect track record in hardware or software, nor does Sony, nor does Sega. Obviously, they don't exist anymore as a hardware manufacturer, nor does Microsoft. But Microsoft is finding its way and is really being this brand that you go to Xbox, and now with some of these acquisitions being so crazy, they will have a lot of rich IP that a lot of people love that really hit a certain demographic of gamer and give you the opportunity that once you buy into the system, that ecosystem, there's an easy, affordable way to play it all, to basically rent it all for very low cost, and then probably have people double dip later on some of their favorite titles. While other people are just not into the renting thing, buy it upright because of that positive word of mouth that came from the overwhelming amount of people, 25 million that are playing the Game Pass games, you know? So it's really found a way to work itself, and that's Xbox's strategy. It's different than Nintendo's, it's different than Sony's, but you know, those discussions are for other days. Right now, wanted to focus a little bit on sales, a little bit on Kingdom Hearts, that's cool, and the majority of this particular video on this massive Activision Blizzard acquisition. So, props to Xbox. That's a big one. Who's left? You know, you're looking at EA and Ubisoft, Sega, Capcom, Konami. I mean, if one of these five get purchased next, the video game landscape is going to change that much more. Personally, for me, this is just not really how Nintendo operates. But if I were Nintendo, I would buy Sega. I would buy Capcom. Capcom, personally, is the richest third-party company out there in terms of IP. That's because I love Street Fighter, I love Mega Man, I love Resident Evil, I love Devil May Cry. I want to see more of Onimusha come back, and Dino Crisis, and Darkstalkers, you know, and even Lost Planet, and yeah, Capcom. If I had to think about it, they are my favorite. They've been my favorite for many years, and for games that I'm even missing, that I'd be like, oh yeah, of course, Final Fight. You know, like other things that would pop up, Super Ghouls and Ghosts. Let's see, it's already happening. I love Capcom. That would be the company to buy for me personally. Sega, however, though, Sega has Sonic, and Sonic, as a game brand, has been pretty relevant and has been around for obviously, 3 decades. Different hits and misses in it, but Sonic as a character is rich. He's worth a lot because you have the easy appeal on the Hollywood side of things with the Sonic the Hedgehog movies, 1 and 2. 2 probably going to do as well, comparatively speaking, as the first one. When you look at lunchboxes out there, you see Mario, Pokemon, and Sonic, you know? And of course, you got like Marvel and Disney and DC properties. But from video games, yeah, Mario, Pokemon, Sonic. When you're looking at t-shirts out there, Nintendo and Pokemon and Sonic. Socks, shoes, partnerships with companies for other items and fast food toys, Sonic. Sonic is a big one to own. Partnerships with Legos and stuff like that, Sonic. And Nintendo owning Sega would mean better Sonic the Hedgehog games moving forward because Nintendo is overall a more talented developer in-house, internally, than Sega is these days. So I think Nintendo would make a Sonic game better than Sega would. But then, of course, you do have Streets of Rage, and you've got Vector Man, and you have Virtual Fighter, and you can bring back Daytona USA, and of course, House of Dead. Sega has got quite a few IP that are really nice as well. I mean, Bayonetta is terrific, and Nintendo already has a good relationship with, Sega and Platinum Games doing those titles. I wouldn't mind seeing some Panzer Dragoon and some Skies of Arcadia, some Knights. Like, yeah. If I were Nintendo, Capcom or Sega would be massive wins in terms of both the talent, and not to say that like, oh, Sega wouldn't be able to, create their own games anymore. Nintendo just buying the IP, see you later, employees. I don't think that's the case. I think Nintendo would work with them and create, some of these games that Sega owns in a better way. And not to diss on Konami, but like Konami's got some great IP with Silent Hill, with Metal Gear Solid, with Castlevania, which is another one that I love. But current Konami, Momotaro Densetsu was a terrific selling title that released on Nintendo Switch in Japan, but Konami as of late, as a developer, hasn't been just busting out these game after game after game of high quality pieces of work. So if someone were to occupy, or I should say acquire Konami at this point, they would be kind of buying the IP more than the talent as far as we know right now. I know some folks over there on Twitter were saying like, gosh, how come Insomniac was purchased for so cheap? Well, because Insomniac, they were bought relatively low, not because of, because they don't have a ton of IP ownership. They made Ratchet and Clank, but Sony owns the IP. They made Spider-Man and Miles Morales, and they're going to make Wolverine, but they don't own those Marvel properties. Marvel is owned by Disney, and Disney owns therefore Spider-Man, Wolverine, and so forth. Movie license-wise, you have Sony holding the film rights to Spider-Man based off of the sale back in the late 90s, early 2000s, but that's regardless. That's besides the point. Sony purchased Insomniac for the quality of the developer, the team, the men and women, the folks that work at Insomniac. Xbox bought Activision Blizzard King for a few reasons. One, giant pool with tons of smaller companies within. As you can see here, Toys for Bomb, Demonware, Treyarch, Raven, Software, High Moon, Beanox, Sledgehammer Games, the ones that I mentioned earlier, right? Bought them for their teams, for the people working there, the quality of the people working there, and all of the IP. So that's why it was such a big acquisition. But yeah, that Insomniac one was good. Really tells you, like, wow, how have times changed, because Rare was purchased for very little money, relatively speaking, and that was 20 years ago. And I think Rare was like one of those Capcoms, one of those Segas, one of those Nintendos of the day, where they just had quality people working there. Rare really had some of the best people working, and some awesome IP attached. All right. Even in a video game news day, we still got to talk a little sales. Just like in a sales day, we got to talk about a little news. But really, now, we didn't do charts and stuff like that. That's a separate video. And I hope you like the semi-new format. For the most part, things aren't really changing up. But, we're just not going to be looking at charts probably on news days. As now, video game sales has its own section for folks that are more into that, and that don't necessarily want to watch it as part of their news day, Okay, that's going to do it for now. This is Paul Gale Network signing out. Thank you for watching. Give me any feedback. I'm looking forward to talking with you all in the comments section below. Have a good one. Bye.